Hey everybody, hello and welcome. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius. Today's the 1st of June, guys. The first day of summer. The first Thursday of summer. Hey, why not? Anyway, guys, I hope you had a fantastic trading day yesterday. So let's prepare ourselves for today. Let's see what Thursday has ready for us. But as always, we're going to have a look at the technical situation, some of the fundamentals as well. But before we go any further, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and then we can continue. I'll disappear here for a little bit and I'll come back in a bit. Okay, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. Feel free to get in touch with us as well. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to help. So guys, let's jump into the charts. The first one on the pickup here is Nikkei 225, and look, we had a bit of a decline yesterday, but then we recovered everything straight away. In general, I don't really like what's happening here. To be honest, this is, let's say, for me to consider the upside. Although I get it, we're still above the, this upside support line taken from the low, the 15th of March. So in a way, more buying interest could come in. But look, given that we already had quite a decent up move here, I think that we're taking a pause here a little bit to see, I think, what's going to happen further, how data is going to come out. So we do have an eventful day today, tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see how the US is going to play out. But and I think that Japan will, in a way, kind of follow suit, and of course also it will keep an eye on China's numbers because, as you know, China came out with some data today. So the Asian manufacturing PMI number came out, so that was better than expected and better than the previous number as well. So in a way, kind of everything's still in line with the whole positive outlook. Now, will that stay like this? That's a good question. We do have some, like I said, some stuff coming up. So, but here from the technical perspective, look, if you're interested in some downside, I think that maybe to keep an eye on this low, the yesterday's low, or the current lowest point of this week could be an idea. So, for example, this 30,650 territory, if we do fall below it, then yes, I'll consider a larger correction here to the downside towards this upside line only. Because again, at the moment, as I said, if we do drift lower, then we could class that as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. So keep that in mind. But again, that's one of the ideas here. I get it. This territory could be a little bit on the wide side, but hey, we rather stay safe than sorry. If some of you, let's say, are like looking at something like short term here, maybe, just maybe, we could squeeze an upside scenario from around here, from, let's say, a break of this from a break of this downside line here, taken from the high of the 28th of May. And if we do get that break, then yes, maybe this could clear the path towards that 31,670 territory that I kept on talking about. Hey, look, it's still very unclear here, and whenever we get to a point like this, to be honest, I'd rather take a step back and wait for maybe some clarity. But look, if you do want to gamble or something like that, and that's the reason why I'm saying gambling, because in a way whenever you're not sure, and let's say all your you have a system, you have a trading system in place, and then let's say not all your boxes are getting ticked, then it becomes gambling. Then you're thinking, you know what, it's not really, if it's not justified 100%, then it's gambling. But anyway, guys, look, for now, long story short, I would say this way: if you're looking for some higher levels, then yes, you could keep an eye on this downside line, but then just be very wary of some of these barriers. Like, for example, this one right here, the high of Tuesday near the 31,458 territory, which could in a way provide support, resistance, and we could see maybe a drift back down. So that's why this break of this downside line, okay, in a way it could maybe work out, but like I said, not all of my boxes are getting ticked here, so I'm just observing the price action for now. ASX 200, look, beautiful drop, mission accomplished. I mean, I talked about this hurdle here, the 7,131. I said that my next target is going to be the area between the 7,064 and 76 levels. Perfect. Honestly, this is great. This is amazing. I'm loving it. I'm loving it what it does here. And then a beautiful rebound happened. Now, a beautiful rebound happened, but we got a hold up just slightly below this breakout point, the one that I talked about, this level, the 7,131. Look, if we continue to trade below it, I'm kind of leaning towards the downside again. So maybe another good target here, this 6,907 could be a possibility. So yeah, if we do continue to trade below the 7,131, then yes, I'll remain bearish. Now, look, we do have the 200-day EMA here as well. The only problem with that one that I have right now is that lately it has not been a very good, let's say, support or resistance area. I'm talking about the 200-day EMA. Probably the 50 EMA was a little bit more significant than the 200, but hey, that's why, let's say, if we even surpass this 7,131 territory, I will keep an eye on this 200-day EMA, of course, yes, but let's say I'm not going to put too much emphasis. If it holds, okay, then we'll reevaluate things. Then we'll maybe we'll put more emphasis on it. But if it doesn't, I'm not really going to get way too disappointed. So for me right now, is the main area is this, the area around that 7,131 territory. China 50, so the FTSE China 50 index. Look, in general, so far so good. I talked about this idea, said that, look, this 12,237 territory, I spoke about that level previously, and we managed to get a fantastic hold up here. Initially, I was targeting that one, but then my perfect scenario here is somewhere towards this psychological 12,000 mark. Well, look, I'm not giving up on that idea yet, because yes, we're getting a little rebound here, but maybe if we do start falling below this hurdle right here, below this 12,237 territory, then yes, that's where I will get a little bit more excited with the downside. And yes, a nice good break below the 12,237 territory may attract a few more sellers into the game here, and we could see a move towards that psychological 12,000 territory. Now, in terms of the upside on this one, now previously I talked about this downside line. Yesterday I mentioned that, and look, the further we move either down or to the right here, the kind of the lower our breakdown level for the upside could be. So long story short, if you're looking for some higher levels on this one, probably a break, still a break above this downside line would be needed. Excuse me. So another little level that I really want to point out here is actually this one right here, the 12,692, or actually let's round it up here towards the 700. So a nice beautiful 12,700 level could be something of an interest maybe for some buyers later on. But again, I might update that at this point. Like I said, I'm just observing this and I want to see how it's going to play out. But at the moment, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside on this one. So Nasdaq. Okay, guys. So the U.S. news and what I've mentioned in my heading there, the name. Now we will know it as the Fiscal Responsibility Act. So this is the debt ceiling agreement that was kind of passed in the House, and now it moved on to Senate. So they're hoping, yesterday that happened. So they're hoping to. Or should I say, Chuck Schumer is hoping to approve it very quickly within the 48 hours. Look, again, I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, at the moment, yes, we're continuing to watch the show. What I'm gonna, like I said, with the side of my eye, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, or keep a side of my eye on it. But to be honest, I'm mainly focused right now on economic data because, look, this has quickly changed. And this is what I was talking about, guys. This will right now, before the 14th of June, I think that this might start like just shifting, back and forth or around that, and kind of oscillating around that 50% mark, because I think that nobody knows right now if we will get a rate hike or not, because again, in general, right now, the economy, everybody's now talking about how there are indications of a slowdown in the economy, and yes, in a way there are. The only thing is that we're also on the good side as well. So there are still. The economy is still running there. The economy is still growing. And yesterday, for example, we got the JOLTS numbers. Let me just double check the number. I think that, it was a good number, that 10,000 or something. I can't remember. Let me just quickly double check. The JOLTS job openings. Where's that number? Oh, there we go. Job opening number. So 10 million against 10.103 million. Against the forecasted 9.775 million. So basically, in a way, good number. Gave some positivity. The only thing is that it didn't really work out well. Excuse me. Didn't really work out well with the markets yesterday in the U.S. Those have declined, but I think that the negativity was either because of this whole debt ceiling issue, or given that the numbers came out good, maybe investors thought that, hey, maybe this is gonna push the Fed towards actually a rate hike. So it's like, it seems to me like that we are in this kind of pretending world where, it's not something new basically, but we're in the pretend world where whenever before the meeting, we suddenly let's say weeks before the meeting, it's suddenly everything goes down, down the hill, and everybody starts panicking and like, oh my god. But then once the interest rate comes out, or let's say the Fed decision comes out, suddenly boom, straight away we're back to normal, we're back to the upside, and then this has been happening for the past 2 months. So look, at this point, what I'm considering here is, if that's the case, then, maybe a bit more retracement here could be possible. And look, I talked about this Fibonacci within the Fibonacci, area here. So look, I mean, apologies for the amount of colors here, but I'll try to explain. So this little lower, smaller Fibonacci that I've drawn here, yesterday I said to you that if we do fall and stay below the 23.6, which is roughly around here, this 14,360, I think, or something like that. So let me just, 30. 14,330 territory. If we do fall below that 23.6, yes, my next target is the 38.2, and then maybe the 50% as well. But look, for now, like I said, yes, I'm going to lean a little bit maybe towards the downside, as long as we're going to stay below the 23.6. Now, in terms of the upside, what I need here is a push somewhere above this 14,450 territory, approximately around here, guys. And if we get that, then yes, I'll go higher. Long story short, guys, for now, I'm cautiously leaning towards the downside, just because, like I said, the market seems to be willing to show that, you know, no more rate hikes are needed, and because everything's, you know, still bad, and everything's not good, and, you know, in that, if that's gonna, and we have a debt ceiling as well, oh my god, like everything's like that. So, and I think that's why maybe the market could drift lower again. I don't know. We'll see. At this point, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to find some sort of logic. It's difficult, but at least I'm trying. Now, looking at the picture here, so basically, yes, I'll repeat myself that the technical situation right now for me is this, that as long as we stay below the 23.6% retracement here on the Fibonacci, on the smaller Fibonacci here, then yes, I'll aim lower. Some of you might say, hey, but maybe this is, you know, forming a nice possible bullish flag. Well, if it is the case, then I still need to see a breakout right here somewhere. Not somewhere from here, not to start jumping in here, because I've seen this happening many times when a bullish flag, let's say we get a sharp decline, you know, moves heavily to the downside, but actually by the end of the day it drifts back up, and then maybe it forms that, you know, nice bullish flag. So I want to be safe than sorry, so I'll just approach it from this perspective. In general, guys, I mean, good morning to everybody who's joining in right now. Let me just put this in the chat room here. There we go. So yeah, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Thursday. So whoever is joining in right now. So yeah, I hope everybody's, yeah, excuse me. Starting, you know, everybody's going to have a start. Honestly, have a beautiful Thursday, everybody. There we go. Managed to squeeze this one out. So yeah, anyway, guys, looking at the picture here, like I said, that's the game plan for me on Nasdaq. Until I get, let's say, my confirmation here for the upside, I'm not really examining the upside scenario. At the moment, I'm considering the downside a little bit, but not too much. I'll go slowly on this. If we continue to trade below that 23.6, then yes, I will go further south. The S&P 500. So this one's interesting. So far so good, because look, I mean, I talked about this, and this 4,175 territory is working out perfectly, and yeah, I need to see a drop below it, and in order to go lower. If we do get a drop below this hurdle, then I'll aim for the 50-day EMA. This is a very important obstacle for me here, the 50-day EMA. If we if we get a hold up here, maybe a bit of a rebound could be possible, but if that gets cleared, then yes, further declines are possible as well. For the upside, I need to see a push above the 4,227 territory, somewhere around here. Look, I do understand that maybe this is not the ideal level. Maybe this should be the ideal level. But look, I'll start looking at some higher levels from this 4,227. If we then clear it, then yes, of course, I'll keep in mind this current highest point of May, or sorry, not the current, the highest point of May near the 4,242, or the beautiful number of 4242. And then yes, we'll go from there if we can clear that. So, guys, in terms of economic data today, by the way, we do have an eventful day. And, okay, we got the Chinese numbers already. So we got the Australian numbers, the manufacturing numbers. Those came out better than the forecast. But probably the main focus today will fall, first of all, on UK. And I'll get to that in a bit because we have the manufacturing numbers coming out from UK. Europe as well, the Eurozone is delivering its manufacturing PMIs, and also the preliminary CPI numbers, the headline and the core. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. Now then, according to the calendar, we have the ECB President Lagarde speaking. So because we also have because the ECB publishes today the account of monetary policy meeting. So basically what the meeting minutes of the previous meeting. The minutes of the previous meeting. There we go. That's probably more correct. So yeah, we'll see how that comes out and how the market reacts to that. Because in general, I mean, this is like just a confirmation of what was said during the previous meeting, but we'll see how the market reacts. Maybe they will react, maybe they won't, because maybe, you know, the market will be just waiting for the ADP number, which is going to come out today from the US, together with the initial and continuous jobless claims. And also then later on, we have the ISM PMI number. Yeah, and the crude oil inventories. So watch out, guys, for whoever is trading oil. But look, in general, for now, I would say this way. Try to position yourselves accurately, carefully. Only risk what you can afford to lose, and you know, have your stop losses in place. That's the most important. And if you don't feel comfortable entering a trade, then don't. Don't, honestly. Like, wait until you are comfortable. That's the whole point. You don't have to squeeze a trade out of you. You know, you have to all the boxes have to be ticked, and then you enter the trade. The German index, DAX, there we go. There we go. Honestly, 15,800. Boom. We clear that level. Now, and the only problem is that we found support near the 15,700 territory. Okay, I spoke about that territory, and okay. So far, so good, in a way. But look, I'm going to stick to the downside. I'm going to aim further south as long as we trade below the 50-day EMA and below the 15,800 zone. If we start falling further south, this is where I need to adjust a few of my levels. I think I need to mark this one instead, the 15,464. But look, before that, let's put it this way. If we stay below the 15,800 territory, I'll remain bearish. If we fall now below the 15,700, I'll go further south. That's my game plan. For the upside, I will still take a conservative approach and keep an eye on that 16,063 zone in order to get comfortable with higher levels. This territory, I mean, I don't really like it, so that's why I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. But for now, it seems like we're a little bit on the bearish side, so let's see how that's going to play out. FTSE 100. Look, I talked about this one. My target got reached here, the 7,474, or the beautiful number of 7474. Then I said to you that, look, I'm aiming further south in a way, because if we do drop and stay below that 74 territory, my next target is the area somewhere near the 7,331. Now, look, this is going to be a tricky one for me, because at some point I'm trying to figure out where we're going to find a good floor. I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside, but only probably up until here somewhere. Look, at the moment, the reason why where I'm trying to figure out where is going to be a floor, because we have this, and this is something that I deep inside of me, this is my bias speaking. Deep inside me, I don't want to believe that this is going to be a good area of support. But hey, we have to consider all the scenarios, all the possible scenarios. So basically, if we do remain below that 74 territory, yes, I'm aiming lower. Initially, I'm going to aim for this upside line drawn from the low of the 13th of October of last year. Then, if we clear it, then yes, I'll go further south, and where my next target is going to be the 7,331. So that's why this is the tricky bit right now. Maybe I can draw this arrow in a way this way. And yeah, if we do, like I said, if we do rebound from this upside line, then yes, more buyers could join in here somewhere around this trend line, and then yes, we could see maybe a move back to the 200-day EMA. But again, let's not rush into anything. Let's go slowly in this and see if we can actually reach this upside line, and then let's see if we can actually rebound from it. Or if we cannot, let's break it and let's move lower. US dollar against US dollar against something. No, it's the US dollar index. US dollar index. Look, this is what I talked about yesterday, and this is the level that I've mentioned, this 104.25. So far, it's doing a nice, good job, and yes, it's providing good resistance. Yes, we're kind of clearing it, or let's say yesterday even we pushed strongly above it, and then look at this, we quickly drifted back down and remained below it. So today we're trying to push higher, but can we stay above this area? Well, this is a good question. So far, in a way, I would say that this is leaning more towards the upside rather than the downside. Also, you need to keep an eye on the, like I said, on the numbers today, because again, ADP, we'll start off actually in the US with the ADP non-farm employment number. Then we'll jump into 15 minutes later, we'll jump into initial and continuous jobless claims. Then an hour, then I think it's 45 minutes. No, like an hour and 15 minutes, we'll get the manufacturing PMIs. Then in next 15 minutes, we'll get the ISM manufacturing PMI. So yeah, basically this could be an interesting one today for the dollar, and that's why don't be surprised if it suddenly remains flat until all the data starts coming out. But my other concern is also that maybe we could see a jump around here, up and down, and let's say by the end of the day, if the traders will still be undecided, maybe we'll get stuck here again until tomorrow's data. So we cannot exclude that scenario as well. So for now, like I said, I'm just keeping it careful and cautious, and as you can see here, we're now drifting back below this hurdle. So yeah, there we go. I think that wait for the data today to come out, and then expect some volatility. And okay, if we establish a direction, great, wonderful. So for example, for me to consider the downside scenario, I would like to see a drop below the 104.12 here, and then yes, and I would also like to see the daily candle staying below this, the body of the daily candle staying below this area, and then I'll consider a larger correction here towards the 200-day EMA. However, if we do push and stay above the 104.25 territory, then yes, I'll go further north. Now, gold. Gold. Okay, I have mentioned this, if you remember before, in one of my sessions, I have mentioned this idea that patterns like these tend to be bearish. Let's say I'm only considering these three candles right now. So, excuse me. So basically, whenever we have a nice good jump, then the next candle, the second candle comes out a strong one too, but then the body of the daily candle is actually smaller than the tail, than the wick. And then basically this kind of leads to a bit of a corrective move lower. Again, don't hold me for it. Honestly, this is just an observation, because this is something that I've looked before into, and sometimes it does work out, sometimes it doesn't. But in a way, the way you could maybe try to play it out here, and maybe to keep an eye on this little territory, this 1958 zone. If we do drop below it, then maybe a bit of a retracement here back down could be possible. Now, if we are looking at some higher levels, to be honest, I would say this way: as if we can, for today, I will give myself this 1958 territory. If we continue to trade above it, I'll aim for the 50-day EMA again. And in general, look how well the 50-day EMA provided resistance. Yesterday, I talked about it. This was my target, the area near that 1977 zone. So we almost managed to reach it. Great, wonderful. So what's next, basically? Like I said, at the moment, I'm considering exactly this scenario that I just mentioned, that maybe if we see a nice good spike here in the DXY, maybe this could have a hit, and this maybe could align perfectly with my theory that basically, yeah, we could see maybe this as a bearish pattern here. So look, for now, long story short, I will say it this way: as long as we stay above the 1958 territory for today, I will still stick to the upside. If we start falling below it and stay below it, then yes, I'm going to lean towards the 100-day EMA, maybe even the 100 this upside line. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe we could reach it as well. It's not far, so why not? Yeah, the 1958 territory, that's going to be something that I'm going to be watching for today. Let's see if that's going to work out or not. But at the moment, I'm seeing a bit of a retracement here. So yeah, let's see. Maybe, you know, we could see a bit of a roller coaster ride here as well. So yeah, for now, long story short, that's my game plan. Zacharias C, I can see you there in the chat room. Oil, no, I have not, because it's in the list here. So basically, you can see on the right here. Oh, I don't know which way. On the right, there we go. That's the way. Sorry for the camera here. I'm trying to. I think I have a mirror image or something. But here you can see on the right that this is the list that I normally go through in the video. So basically, yeah, for now we're on gold. I'll jump into silver, and then I'm gonna pick up on oil. I guess that's gonna be interesting. Look, silver, interesting, very interesting. Oh, there we go. So look, I have talked about this, and I've mentioned this before. Now, I said to you that we have a broadening kind of veg triangle pattern, something like that in a way. I said to you that as long as we stay above the 200-day EMA, I'm going to aim for the upper side of this formation. Hit, test, boom, perfect, fantastic. I'm quite happy about this. Then I said to you that if we clear this highlighted zone right here, which is roughly between the 23.52 and 57 levels, then yes, and we stay above it, then yes, I'll go higher. But also a push up of the 100-day EMA here could do the trick for a few more buyers. Look, my ideal scenario is somewhere around here, actually. No. I think I need to redraw this, guys. We need to redraw this. Yes, my ideal scenario will be somewhere around this 24.21 territory. But before that, the target is the 50-day EMA, shown as the red line here. So that's going to be, initially, I'm going to aim for that. And then if that gets clear, then it's the 24.21. That's my upside scenario here, just because we're breaking the upper side of this this formation, this falling, or this broadening veg kind of triangle pattern, something. Or it's not really that, honestly. I don't like to call it this way, because it's not really. It's something like a broadening veg, which is a falling broadening veg, something like that. So again, it's not a thing. It's just something that I've just created in my head. But look, at the moment, let's put it this way. Let's keep it short and simple. Basically, if we want to go higher, then yeah, that's the breakout. That's the area I need to see a clearance of in order to go higher. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 200-day EMA and below the 22.96 territory right there. Oil. Boom. I was very happy with this one. Yesterday I talked about it, and we were hanging around here near this hurdle. I said that in a way one of my levels got reached here, the 69.43. Then I said that look, if we continue to trade below it, my next target is the 67.50. We've reached that again as well. Sorry, not again, but as well. So perfect hit. Now the question is, what are we going to do next? Well, this is where I will apply the same logic as on gold about talking about this formation, but here in oil, maybe we could see this one as the opposite one, the inverted one. So maybe this could actually be seen as a bullish indication. However, I will try to play it simple, and I would do it this way. If we do push back above this highlighted zone right here, around that 69.43, 44 territory, I'll get a little bit more excited with the upside, but only I'll consider this upside as a kind of a large correction, a larger correction to the upside before another possible leg of selling, because don't forget that we're still below this downside line. In general, I'm a bear on oil right now. Look, maybe we'll get a spike of some sort at some point. Yes, maybe that could be the case. But in general, I'm kind of not seeing, anything good for oil. And I think that a short-term spike at some point could happen. Yes. But will it be more of a long-term one or a medium-term one? I really don't know. So, you know, that's why I'm saying that I'm kind of leaning towards the downside. And in general, look at this way, as long as we stay below this territory, the 69.43 territory, I'm leaning towards the downside. If you're at this point, if you're thinking of doing something at this point, personally me, I'm not really touching this one. Because look, in general, what I was targeting from the beginning of this week, I was targeting this level, the 69.43. Tick, tick. Then I said to you that, look, yesterday I said to you in my morning video, I'm targeting this 67.5. Tick, tick. Perfect. Now I'm stopping because, look, in general, everything was fine here. I'm not trying to capture every, you know, because look, how to say it? You need to slow down sometimes on this one. If you have a good run, great, wonderful, you know, because don't forget that it's like in a casino, you know, like if you're thinking that red's coming out, then it's going to come out black, but then actually, then again, like red comes out. So, you know, maybe it will go further. Maybe it'll go red here, you know, but, at the moment, I don't like this area, and we had quite a decent down move already. So, look, I would think that for me, this territory would become an interesting one, the 67.5. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to allow it to move, do something here, figure it out, and then maybe take a position. At this point, I'm just going to observe the price action. Yes, in a way, I'm kind of hoping to see maybe some a bullish scenario here working out, just because I want to see if my theory here with this pattern is gonna continue working. So far, it's kind of working. Sometimes is, sometimes not. So. But like I said, I want to see if this time is going to work again nicely with gold and oil. So yeah, so Zakaria, see, I hope this kind of helps out. I know that maybe if you're looking to enter somewhere right now, I personally, like I said, I'm just observing the price action for now. Bitcoin. Bitcoin so continues to drift nicely to the downside. Look, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because, again, I talked about the same scenario over and over. So far, it's doing a good job. So I said to you that if we do fall below the 50-day EMA, my next target is the 100-day EMA. Now, if we're going to fall below the 100-day EMA, I'm going to aim for the, well, not the 200-day EMA, but actually I'm going to aim for this 25,810 territory right here. It seems like a good potential area of support. Let me just highlight that for our future reference. So good possible area of support. Let's see if we can reach that. This is going to be my target next. If we do drop below the 100-day EMA. Zakaria C. Look, patience. Yes, patience is gold, as always. But look, whenever you have, like, sorry, I'm jumping back into this, guys. But whenever you have a situation like this, for example, let's say if you missed a drop, a heavy, just wait for it to figure out, wait for it to see what it wants to do next. You know, maybe, like I said, maybe this idea, which I've mentioned, maybe it will work out. So if we start popping back above the 69.43 territory, then maybe, yes, the bulls will pick up on that one. But again, you have to have your stop losses in place and risk only what you can afford to lose. So that's very, very important because, again, if suddenly, let's say it pops above this barrier, moves a little bit higher, tests the psychological 70 level, and then drifts back down, you know, and it'll take you out. So just kind of be cautious of that. Bitcoin, yeah, so that's the situation with Bitcoin here. With the upside, a break of this downside line is needed. Nothing else. Dogecoin, so, yeah, again, nothing much exciting. We're in a range, but once it starts getting out of it, then yes, that's where it could become a little bit more interesting. So for now, long story short, if we break the lower side of that range, my next target is the lowest point of March. Then I'll aim for this territory, the 0.0626 level. That's the lowest point of March and the current lowest point of this year as well. A good potential target. Let's see how this is going to play out. In terms of the upside, a break of the upper side of the area here is needed. Then yes, at the same time, we could maybe also push above the 50-day EMA and potentially more buyers could join in. Look, Also, we're waiting maybe for some sort of a tweet from Elon Musk just to give it a boost. By the way, Mr. Musk became the richest person according to Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Yep, Elon Musk became the richest person in the world again. It's never like a fixed thing, so it's like shifting all the time. So apparently his last change, he gained around 2 billion, I think. Yeah, 2 billion. But from year to date, he gained around 55 billion. Okay, not bad. Not bad, you know. Why not? Anyway, jumping into a few pairs, guys. Jumping into a few pairs, AUDUSD. So this one is a bit of a pain in the bottom. Because look, I talked about this, and so far it's kind of working, and at the same time it's not. Why it's working? Because it's still trading below my downside line. So I said to you that as long as we remain below this downside line, I'm leaning towards the downside, and it's kind of showing me these moves. However, why it's not working? Because it keeps on coming back above this 0.6490 territory, which basically is kind of a bit of a problem here. So it seems like it's a good area of support. If we do drop and stay below it, then yes, I'll go further south. If we continue to trade above it, I'm just taking a neutral stand here. Because even for the upside, basically my upside scenario will come only if we break this downside line and we push back above the 0.6564 territory right here. Then yes, I will go a little bit more to the upside. AUDNZD, this one, look, yesterday I've drawn a Fibonacci on this one. I think I've drawn this one this way, and I said to you, hey, maybe, you know, this could, you know, go back down and stuff like that. Maybe we could consider this territory as a good area of support. But look, I mean, it continues to push higher because I said to you that if we do break and stay above this 1.0829 territory right here, I'm going further north, and yeah, so far so good. In order for me to go lower, to be honest, at this point, I will take a bit of a careful and conservative approach, and I'll wait for a drop below this territory, below this 1.0765, because in a way we have the 100-day EMA here as well, so maybe all this could align nicely, unless another scenario for you guys. Unless we start pushing higher, for example, here, and we move, further north here. Ideally, I'm aiming for this 1.0931. But my other little issue here, and this is where I'm gonna try to confuse your heads as much as possible. So this is what I'm keeping an eye on, a close eye on as well. So we broke the downside line. Okay, great. That's why my downside scenario is from around here, because basically I prefer to see a stronger move lower here and then kind of get comfortable with with further declines. At the moment we're breaking this downside line, and we're still above it, so that's great. Okay, wonderful. We could go a little bit higher, and what I'm targeting next is this in the inside swing low of the 21st of April near the 1.0888 level. Approximately around here. So what I'm considering here is maybe a move towards this territory first. So an initial test here could be nice, could be good. Also, something that another theory that I've talked about a lot, if you have been watching my videos before, is that look, whenever we break a trend line, we kind of go a little bit higher, then we reverse back down, revisit the broken trend line from the other side, and then kind of continue with the direction of the break. So we reverse back up again. Let's say in this case we reverse back up again and push higher. So in other words, what I'm looking at is something maybe around these lines. So something like this basically. Now, again, this is maybe me flying in my fantasies here or trying to see, what I want to see. But look, this has happened before. I will keep this for now. Looks quite neat. I'll keep this for now. But look, if suddenly we start falling back below the downside line, guys, and we fall below the 100-day EMA, then yep, that's where I'll get a little bit more excited with the downside. AUDJPY. Haven't looked at this one for a while, but basically, what I talked about previously, that look, I said to you that if we do fall below this 91.32 territory, I'll lean towards the downside. We did fall initially. We found good support near the 200-day EMA. We rebounded from it, pushed back up, found resistance somewhere around here, something random actually, because that's from where my upside scenario is, from this 92.42 zone. I'm still going to stick to that, and yeah, I'm going to consider this as a nice breakout for the upside. For the downside, look, so far so good. We fell then below the 200-day EMA, so, well, we fell back below the 91.32 territory. We went to the 200-day EMA. Then we cleared that one, and to be honest, I'm right now, what I'm going to do here is, as long as we stay below the 200-day EMA, I'm aiming for the lower side of the rising channel here. That's what I'm going to take. This is the position I'm going to take, and we'll see. We'll go from there. USDJPY. So keep your eyes on it today. Yeah, yesterday we fell below this hurdle, this 139.90. I talked about this 23.6. We tested it, but as I can see, it's actually not carrying any significance. Well, is this carrying? Well, now it seems like now I'm trying to find something, to justify my my small little Fibonacci that I've drawn here. But I think that it's better to stick to this idea. This Fibonacci drawn from the lowest point of March to the highest point of May. Now, we fell below the 139.90. We are now retracing back down. To be honest, I'm going to stick to the downside at this point. But again, of course, a lot will depend on how the indices play out. If those continue to sell off, then yes, we could see USDJPY moving lower as well, just because everybody will be jumping into the yen, because as a safe haven, it acts as a safe haven, and people kind of tend to jump into that one when everything goes down the drain. But look, for now, I'm from the technical perspective, just purely on USDJPY. As long as we stay below this 139.90, I am aiming for the 138.75 or maybe this 23.6% retracement here on the Fibonacci. Now, USDCAD, beautiful move to the downside, and okay, that's quite interesting. So now, this is where the moment is that, I don't know if Zacharias, are you still here, but this is where it will concern oil, because basically, this is kind of coming in line with the idea of maybe this one pushing, to the upside. USDCAD right now is indicating that it failed yesterday to break above this 1.3655 territory. And yes, instead, it kind of reversed sharply to the downside. So we saw a decline in US dollar, but also, yeah, the Canadian dollar strengthened. So maybe oil will strengthen as well. And look, if oil does strengthen, then we could see this pair actually drifting nicely to the downside here, because if we broke the upside line, we are now flirting with this 1.3568. So in a way, this could play out nicely here for the bears. So keep your eyes on that one. We could see a drift lower. I'm aiming initially for the 50 and the 100-day EMAs. Then if those get clear, then I'll go further south. But initially, I'm aiming only here. And this is where, like I said, yeah, the weakness in the dollar could come in. Maybe, who knows? So yeah, we'll see. Maybe this idea on gold actually is not going to work out. Maybe we're not gonna see that drift lower. But hey, we have positioned ourselves accordingly, so we'll see how that's going to work. But here, looking at this picture, I'm wondering actually if this is going to, go lower or not. Because look, if we do push back up here, I think that it will be time to get rid of this upside line. So for now, I'm going to keep it. But actually, if we do push back up somehow, then I'm going to start considering this as a nice little range. USDCHF, just a quick update on this one. This one's moving nicely to the upside. We've managed to reach my target, the 100-day EMA. We cleared it. We're currently staying above it. So as long as we stay above it, yeah, my next target is the 200-day EMA. Simple as that. For the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line and a drop below the 0.9063 territory right here. GBPCHF. So, beautiful move. I talked about this pair yesterday. I said to you, look, keep your eyes on this barrier right here, the 1.1260. If we do clear it, I'll go higher, initially aiming for that 1.1277. If that gets cleared, then I'll aim for the 200-day EMA. If that gets cleared, then I'm going to aim for this downside line, taken from the high of the 31st of October of 2022. Well, talk about working out, talk about, good results here. And yes, in general, like I said, I'm quite happy with this because this is exactly what I mentioned yesterday before in my morning video. I said to you, keep your eyes on this hurdle, and there we go. We had that pop. So great. I would say actually mission accomplished. I'm not going to target, okay, although I'm aiming for this downside line, but actually, if I already get something like that, I'm going to take my profits, enjoy my life. I'm going to leave it, here, maybe for the next person who wants to, still kind of take advantage of this. But yeah, for now, I'm aiming for this downside line, and then I'm going to take it from there. GBPUSD, beautiful move here. Beautiful move. Well, first of all, we broke the downside line. We can get rid of it, no longer need it. We pushed then above my hurdle, this 1.2392, and we tested this 50-day EMA. So, good result, good performance here, I would say. And to be honest, as long as we stay above the 50-day EMA, I am aiming for the upside. Yeah, my next target is the 1.254647, something around these, around this. Only if we continue to trade above the 50-day EMA. If we fall back below it, I'll take a bit of a neutral stand maybe, but I think I'll start looking at some lower levels if we do fall around here. Below the 1.2392, and yes, then we will aim for the 100-day EMA or maybe the this 1.2308 level. EURCHF. So there we go. One of my favorite ones lately. Because look, I've for the past 2 weeks I've been talking about this one, and I was saying to you, look, maybe this is a nice falling wedge. Maybe according to all the T rules, maybe this will break out to the upside. So far, so good, but, okay, look, what I've mentioned to you previously, that keep your eyes on the lower side of this falling wedge, actually both of the bigger one and the smaller one, and if it holds, a nice rebound here could be possible, something like in lines of this. If we then break the upper side of the smaller falling wedge, then great, we'll go towards the upper side of the bigger falling wedge. So now I can get rid of the smaller one. And look at the precise hit. That's perfect. That's great. That's wonderful. But my problem here is that I'm talking about this whole session today about this pattern, this particular pattern, which could be a bit of a bearish one. So to be honest, look, I'm maybe considering actually something around these lines. So if we do fall back below the 0.9723 territory, or actually, no. This territory, 0.9724 territory. If we fall back below it, I'll consider a bit of a retracement, but not too much because I'm loving this level right here, the 0.9706. It has been quite a outstanding support area apart from this time here. But in general, yep, it could be a nice area of support to consider. If we do clear that one, then yes, I will go lower. So in other words, although this is a falling wedge, and although according to all the TA rules, these tend to break to the upside, as long as we remain inside the pattern, it could still drift to the downside. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, look, if we don't fall lower here and we start breaking the upper side of the falling wedge, guys, this could open the door to some higher levels. EURGBP, so far so good, drifting further south, and yeah, not much to add here. I talked about this, and I said to you that if we do drop below the 0.8670 territory, my next target is the 0.8646, cleared. And now I am, yes, aiming further south, and to be honest, my next target is the 0.8562 territory, somewhere around here, maybe even the 0.8547, which is the lowest point of December of 2022. Maybe it could be a good target. Let's wait and see. EURNZD, this one's interesting. Look, I mean, I talked about it and I've drawn a Fibonacci yesterday. So I said to you, look, we have found a good area of resistance. So this territory right here between the 1.7839.52 levels, we need a clearance of that. Just bear with me. Sorry, my voice is sorry. My throat is getting dry. Yeah. I have an aircon here running. Well, that's drying out my throat as well. But sorry about that. Look, for now, I will say this way: we had a fantastic move to the upside. Oh, excuse me. We had a fantastic move to the upside. At the moment, to do something here, I would not. Probably, I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm just going to observe the price action, and if I do see a clearance of this highlighted zone right here on the upside, then yes, I'll go higher. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 1.7680 territory, somewhere around here, near this 23.6. Yes, and then I'll consider a bit of a retracement back to the downside here. So it was maybe the 50-day EMA. But before that, the 38.2 could be a nice good target as well. And finally, EURUSD. So far so good. As I said to you yesterday, as long as we stay below the 200-day EMA and this downside line, I am leaning towards the downside. And look how well my target got reached yesterday, the 1.0635. I talked about it. Perfect hit. Now what's next? Well, now we'll continue monitoring the data today. We have the economic data coming out. So yeah, I will say this way. At this point, I'm leaving it. Honestly, I don't like it because we reached my target yesterday. Good result. Now I'm just going to leave it here. And if I do see a drop below the 1.0635, then yes, I'm going to do something about it. But if we start somehow pushing back up, and this is where I need to, I think, adjust a few of the levels here. So maybe, no. You know what? I wanted to try maybe like this. I'm trying to find something here basically. So look, 1.07 territory. You could keep an eye on that one actually. If we do push back above it, then we would push back above the 200-day EMA, and maybe more buyers could join in. So just keep that in mind. But the most important here today, guys, keep your eyes on the economic data, on the European data, and the US data as well. Look, long story short, for now, what I'm going to do here is if we do push back above the 1.07 territory, I'm not saying that I'm becoming very bullish. No, I'm just going to maybe consider some higher levels, but I'll be very, very cautious about it. Because at this point, look, I'm still bearish. And as long as we stay below the 200-day EMA, I'm leaning towards the downside. However, I will get more comfortable with lower levels if we do drop and stay below the 1.0635 territory. So guys, that's it for this session. I'll have to wrap it up here because I think I'm going a little bit over my time. But thank you very much for joining in. Thank you very much for your reviews, for your comments, for your rockets. That really helps me a lot, guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, and thank you very much for staying for an hour almost with me. But yeah, thank you for that. Have a beautiful trading day. Join me tomorrow morning, as always, at Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. And as always, guys, I'll repeat myself. Don't overtrade. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.